So, as you saw, Milton has become blind, the poet has become blind, and that is why he is dejected. But his intention is, his motive is, his desire is, his wish is to justify the ways of God to man. He wants to serve God. He wants to justify the ways of God to man. Well, let me write to justify the ways of God to men. Here I am reminded of Paradise Lost. This is in fact the theme of Paradise Lost too. To justify the ways of God to men. So here in this poem also, his intention is, although he is blind, he is dejected, he is disappointed, and he wants to serve God. That is his true intention. He wants to justify the ways of God to men. Okay? So keeping in view his passion for writing poetry and serving God and thus making the best use of his talent, it is quite obvious that the poet does not want to be like the idle servant who wasted the master's gift. What did he do? How did he waste the gift? He buried the coin, he buried the talent under the earth, and that's why the money could not multiply. So, what do we notice here? The poet is also restless and afraid that the taskmaster would rebuke him for not using his talent duly. What does he say? And that one talent which is death to hide, he feels that it is almost like death to hide that talent. Lost with me useless, that talent is lying with me. Okay? How? Idle, useless. I am not using that talent. And what is the talent? The talent of writing poems. And poets, if one is a true poet, a genuine poet, a real poet, then he or she would write poems in the praise of God. So he thinks that he is not able to do his duty. He is not justifying his duty that he has towards God. He being a highly religious man, a God-fearing man. So highly bothered as he is, he asks this question to himself: doth God exact their labor? Light denied. Doth God exact their labor? Light denied. He would have probably gone on complaining naively if patience here. I would like to mention the word patience here. This word is beautifully used by Milton, and I think nowhere in any poem the word is so beautifully used. Patience. What does patience mean?
To be calm.
To be calm, to be cool, to be poised. It means to be cool, to be calm, to be poised. Here patience is personified. Do you know what is personified? What does it mean?
Inanimate objects are treated like living.
Very nice. Inanimate objects are treated like the living things, or the animate ones. Very nice. Okay, good. So, doth God exact their labor denied? He would have probably gone on complaining naively, innocently, foolishly. He says, I fondly ask. Fondly ask means I foolishly ask. Here fondly means I foolishly ask. But patience to prevent. Now patience come to his rescue. Patience. Patience is personified here. Patience to prevent. Patience come. That means his inner self. Okay, there is a kind of inner voice. As we have two voices by Alfred Tennyson. There is a poem by Alfred Tennyson, Two Voices. So we also have two voices. Sometimes we are in a dilemma. Sometimes there are warring pulls. One pull is pulling us towards one direction and another to another. So we have conflicting pulls that way. So here too, there are two voices. Now patience is a positive voice, we may say, who comes to his rescue to save him from the disappointment he is going through. So patience comes and prevents him from complaining further. Patience reminds him how to be poised, patient, and to bear God's yoke mildly. Yoke, you understand? Yoke And the yoke is a tool which is put on oxen's neck. That is yoke. So here yoke signifies, it denotes burden, problems, tensions, the worldly tensions that you have. Like if you do not complain against God, if you do not feel any grudge against God for the tensions, for the worldly problems that you have, and you endure them without any complaint, that means you are serving God. So you should have that kind of unflinching faith. The patients come and stops him, prevents him. That mama soon replies, God. Patients come and says, now the patient is, presented here to give him a piece of advice. What does it say? God doth not need either man's work or his own gift. God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. Means what has God given you for good. He doesn't take it back. He has given you a talent of writing poetry, then he is not asking that talent back to him. Okay, since you are not using it. God is not that unkind. Okay, he is very merciful, he is very benevolent. So the poet happens, in fact, patience is no other person. Patience is the inner voice of the poet itself. He being a true Christian, and it is a Christian, it is in fact a Christian ideal to accept one's fate cheerfully and to put up with adversities, problems, tensions, disappointments willingly. Okay, what do? If you put up with them, these adversities of life, that means you are serving God. So this is Christian ideal in a way. So this thought gives comfort to the tormented mind of the poet. Who makes him think on this line? Patience. Patience, who is personified in the poem. It's one of the emotions, patience. It's an abstract noun. So he realized that God does not need man's work, or he does not take his gifts back, one bestowed upon him, or any man for that matter. God has authority over everything and on everyone. He is almighty and supreme. It is therefore a folly, a mistake on the poet's part to think that God requires his services. God does not need his services. Whether he writes poems or does not write poems in his praise, God isn't going to be angry with him. God won't rebuke him. He is very merciful. He is very kind. There are thousands at his service who are posted over land and ocean without rest. What does he say? His state is kingly. Thousands at his bidding speed, and post over land and ocean without rest. So who are post over land and ocean? Angels. Angels are there always serving God. So why would he need your service? There are thousands of angels serving the Almighty. So a little calm and careful thinking leads the poet to believe that the question of disservice to God does not arise at all. Of course, he is boundlessly benevolent, omniscient, omnipotent. He is the Lord of lords and the King of kings. He has thousands of angels to carry out his command on land, ocean, and air in a twinkling of an eye. They are very swift. They have got wings, they are very swift. So in a twinkling of an eye, they carry God's order. So when he has so many servants, why would he need poet's gift? Why would he want poet to praise him? Finally, the poet concludes that even if he is blind and unable to do any service to him, he should only remain dutiful and faithful to him, to the Almighty. Those who accept their lives without a grudge, those who accept God's verdict willingly serve him best. As he says, they also serve who only stand and wait. Okay? Do not forget to quote this line. When you are writing critical appreciation of the poem, do write this line. In fact, this sonnet is a wonderful sonnet. If you read it 5-6 times, you will remember the lines, especially the last line is a proverbial line. People often use it. Please just learn this line by heart, memorize this line and use it. This they also serve who only stand and wait. The poet, through this sonnet and through his own personal experience, intends to share that they serve God the most who patiently and without a grumble, without a grudge, surrender themselves to His will and endure all spiritual, mental, and physical suffering which God may inflict upon to bring out the talent or any excellence for that matter. You know, if you are put to something difficult, okay, like if you have adversities in life, in fact, they also make you up. They make you a better person. Thus, there is a spiritual resignation, a deep conviction and faith in God and His providence that we notice, especially in the second half of the poem, the sestet. So in the first part, in first half, in the 8 lines, we find that the poet is very disappointed. Why? Because he has lost his eyesight, although he has not attained half of his age. Means he is not 50 when he is only 44. And insisted, the faith is regained. Your Paradise Lost, his epic, and the sequel of the Paradise Lost is Paradise Regained. Yeah. So, what do we notice? There is a spiritual resignation, a deep conviction and faith in God and His providence. The poem is didactic nature. What kind of poem is it? Like if you place it up, what kind of poem is it? Is it a love poem or a poem based on the theme of friendship? It's a didactic poem. Didactic, what does didactic mean? Poem which has a moral, okay, which has a lesson to learn. So the poem is didactic in nature, and the message given is that all acts of God have a definite benevolent purpose behind His every action. Whose action are we talking about? God's action. The God action. There is a benevolent purpose behind God's every action. Right? Benevolent. So these are the words that you use for the Almighty. Benevolent. What other words do you use?
Merciful.
Merciful. So He is benevolent, He is merciful. He has got thousands of angels. Yeah. So, do you understand this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what do you notice in octave? What kind of mood does he have, the poet?
Shaken faith. He has shaken faith.
Yeah, his faith is shaken in religion. Okay, why is his faith shaken?
Because he has lost his eyesight.
Because he has lost his eyesight. Okay, and since he has lost his eyesight, what he is not able to do?
He's not able to write poems.
He is not able to write poems
in the praise of Almighty.
In praise of the Almighty, in praise of God. Very good. And this is what Christian belief is, right? And so what happens? He was rejected. Who comes to his rescue? Who comes and stops him? There's nothing to worry about. God does not need your talent back. Patience comes to it. So patience is, which figure of speech do you have there in patience? Personification. Very nice. True. So what kind of mood he has in the sestet, the second half of the poem?
He has optimistic mood.
Optimistic mood. He has regained his faith. Okay, in religion. He knows that God is merciful. He is benevolent. He doesn't need his gifts back. They also serve him well who only stand and wait. So it's a beautiful poem, a beautiful sonnet. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you are going to write this. Means you explain the poem, you discuss say figures of speech, okay, you discuss the motive of the poem, means why did the poet write this poem, the intention, and do you have any moral in the poem? Do you have any moral in the poem? Do you find the poem didactic? Does it teach you anything?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What does it teach?
That God is very merciful
God is very merciful, okay?
and very benevolent.
Very, okay.
And if we are just faithful to him without any service, he is happy with us.
He's happy. Okay, good, very nice. Yes, do you have to say something? Yes?
All acts of God have a purpose behind.
Okay, all acts of God
Have a purpose.
have a purpose behind that, right? So we must bear the difficulties, the worldly problems without any grudge, without any complaint. And if we are bearing all these, worldly problems without any grudge, in fact we are doing service to God. So towards the ending is the perfect ending, beautiful ending, the way you have in Shakespeare's sonnet. The couplet gives you a beautiful ending. Same is the case with Milton's sonnet, this sonnet especially. The last line is very powerful. What is the last line? They also serve who only
Stay and wait.
stand and wait. They also serve who only stand and wait. Yeah, okay. So, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Shall we stop here?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, thank you.